Okay, are you ready to create a planner, journal, devotional, and actually sell it? If you are interested in selling paper products like a planner or a journal and having that be your company, your business, this is the video for you. I'm going to teach you my 7 steps to create and print your own paper products. Hello and welcome back to the Dream Printing Podcast. I am so excited to get started. I'm going to share with you my 7 steps to create and sell your own planner. Now, this is applicable if you're trying to make a journal or devotional or anything like that. Just as a little background, I'm Polly Payne, the founder of Horacio Printing and also the creator of Print School. And I have been creating and printing and selling all sorts of paper products for the last 10 years. I've made devotionals, I've made journals, I've made fun notepads to help me get organized. And to date, I've sold over 50,000 dream planners. And what is even more special to me is people have actually started to live out their dreams after using my product. And we've also been able to donate over $78,000 to fight human trafficking by donating a proceed of our profit to A21. And so just wanted to share that with you and let you understand what is possible when you follow your print dream. Now, I know it can be scary, and maybe you found this video on YouTube and you've been researching because you have this similar dream that I had back in 2014. And often when I talk to these people who are looking to get their thing printed and they're so excited, the number one thing that pops up is, I need a printer. I've got to have a printer. How am I going to get this done? And I know I wanted when I was starting out, we want this hand-holding experience from a great printer that can ideally print on demand. Like, wouldn't that be nice if we could just print them one at a time and it wouldn't be that big of a risk? But we all know when you buy in bulk, you save money, right? When we go to Costco, we save money. And it takes money to buy things up front in bulk to get the price down so that you can have a profitable product. But we're looking for this solution. And so I get that question a lot here on YouTube and on the podcast as well. My last video on the Dream Printing podcast was all about printing on demand printers and what they look like, what they cost, what are the pros, what are the cons. And I actually have a link to that video right here. You can go watch that video if that's of interest to you. It's also linked below this episode if you want to go watch it. But basically, if I could give you a nutshell of print on demand, the major cons that I see is the price is super high and there's not a lot of customization. And maybe you've already fallen down that rabbit hole of looking up printers that do print on demand and realizing, like, this isn't the quality I want. Maybe you've actually gone a step further and actually printed something using an on-demand printer and you realize, like, this isn't what my heart really wants. Like, I want something super duper premium. And if you're a paper snob like me, then it's okay. Paper Snob's Anonymous. We can hang out. Although I'm not anonymous. My name's Polly and I'm a paper snob. So there's just a lot of cons there. Another thing that I see people trying to do versus work with a true manufacturer, because it's tricky and maybe it's, kind of just fuzzy. Like, how do I even go about doing that? It seems really daunting, right? To work with an overseas printer or find this traditional publisher in the US that can actually do what I want. I don't speak the lingo. It can feel like intimidating. I get it. One thing I've seen people doing that have entered my program is trying to DIY a planner, like buying all the coils, buying like a binder and a hole puncher and trying to create products which end up looking a little more like this because you can't really create like a hardbound book at home. You can't really add the tabs at home in a mass scale. You could do things one-off, of course. But the big problem I see with DIY is, first off, so time consuming to make one thing. Now, there might be, people love to crochet. That takes a long time. There's something beautiful about doing something that takes time. Everyone's baking bread now. It takes time. But if you're wanting to start a business or like a bread company or, a crocheting company, like you have to figure out how to scale that. And one of the things that I see, especially in my life as a mom, as a business owner, as a wife, as a homeowner, trying to take care of myself, I don't have the time to build my own products. Not only that, it just will take over your life. It'll take over a whole room of your house. And if you want to have a successful business, you've got to have time to market it. You got to have time to work on your business and not be the manufacturer. Also, it's expensive. It's so expensive to DIY at home. If you're a DIYer creator of journals and paper products, comment below, prove me wrong. Tell me how quick and easy it is for you. I would love to know, but the people I've talked to that have bought the printer ink, the specialty printer, the coils themselves, the paper that they wanted, it ended up being a huge labor of love and really, really expensive. I know I had one student who purchased the amount of ink she needed, and she needed like almost double that. And I don't know if you've ever bought printer ink. It's expensive. Like, ink is so expensive. So I know this is the big question people want to know. My ideal solution and what I do in my business is I work with a printer overseas because it's cost effective. I don't have to do it. It's the most high quality product I've been able to get. You cannot find a printer like this in America. It's all, pre-priced out. So you're able to get the best price possible. And then I can get all the bells and whistles from my printer. Like, I can get my gold pens and, all the other things that I want, like a notepad or washi tape or a box, tissue paper, custom inserts. Like, all the things can be wrapped up in this beautiful package. And I can have a premium sales price, which means I can have enough profit in order to continue to work for myself, in order to give myself a little salary, in order to hire people, in order to give back to charity. And so with that outsourcing of manufacturing and also outsourcing fulfillment, I'm able to grow and have partnerships and have time to market and also have a life. And so anyways, I want to share that with you because I know this platform, especially YouTube, is a lot about DIYing, and it's about maybe print on demand, which if you watch my last video, you'll see, the truth about print on demand. And in some cases, it does make sense. In some cases, it doesn't. If you're trying to make a planner like this, you can't print this on demand. Like, that's just the truth of it. So you can go watch my last video, but I want to, in this video, really hone in on the 7 steps of how you go about doing this from beginning to end. So let's dive into that right now. Step 1, ready? Step 1 of creating your own thing is, ready? Ideation. Feel free to take notes, grab a journal, pause this episode and go grab a journal. Step 1 is ideation. Now, the ideation process for me is the best process, but it can be intimidating when you've never done it before. This year for 2025, I have been ideating brand new products that I've never created before in the business. So I love this process. This is the process of conception. It's where you're really getting that idea onto paper. And I have a system for this inside of Print School, but I want to share with you what are some really important things that happen during ideation. In the ideation phase, this is where you really dream up and develop the content that you want inside your product. What kind of devotionals do you want? What's it going to be about? What are the pages going to sort of look like? What's the flow? And really important, other than just the content, is your target audience. Who are you making this for? You want to create it with that target audience in mind, because that is who will be touching it, and that is whose problem you are solving. And you have to create your product with them in mind. What do they want? What are they dealing with? What are they looking for in a product? And most importantly, with that target audience is, what problem is it solving for them? How does this fit in their life? I want to make a devotional. Okay, is it a morning devotional? Is it an evening devotional? Is it a 90-day devotional? Like, what is her experience going to be? What is your audience's experience going to be? Another big important thing that happens in ideation, especially inside of Print School, for my Print School students that go through Module 1, which is ideation, a big thing that they figure out by going through my processes is this product feasible? So often we have these dreams of what we want to create, and unfortunately, there are things that are not feasible. For example, if you want to have a daily planner that is super thick paper, that has a page for every day, or a spread for every day, plus a devotional for every day, plus a journaling page for every day, plus a section for sermon notes every week, that becomes 700 pages. And you can't fit 700 pages in a book like this. This is about 220 pages. You can fit 1,000 pages in a book. You've seen a Bible. A Bible has about 1,000 pages or more, but the paper is super thin, right? And so if you want something people are going to carry around, you'll learn in my ideation phase whether your product is feasible or not. And you'll actually talk to my printer. I give you access to my exact printer. I teach you how to work with them. You email my printer directly. I give you the templates to request the quote. And right at the beginning of ideation, you're going to figure out, how much is this going to cost? And sometimes my students will want a fully color printed thing. And then once they get their quote, they go, you know what? Maybe I only want a fourth of it color. Maybe I want to do black and white. Maybe I want to change it up. Oh, wow, I had no idea it was going to be this cheap. Maybe I want to add tabs. So getting that quote in that ideation phase is really special. Now, step 2 is prototype design. And this is where you take your ideation and actually plop it in to some sort of prototype software. Now, for me, this could look like creating a prototype in Canva. Canva is probably my favorite place to work because I'm the most proficient in that. But sometimes my students will do their prototype in a PowerPoint. I have a template for that. Some people, sketch it out and then transfer it over into Canva. But we have to have some sort of prototype to really start to see it come alive. And it's basically where you put, this is what's on the left hand side, this is what's on the right hand side, and this is what it's going to look like. Very basic, not fully designed yet, but just the concept of it, because it really helps you just to flush it out and understand the flow. See the user journey come to life. Does this make sense? Well, maybe all the months should be in the front. Maybe I want the weeks in the back. It's not the full product that you have to prototype out, but you definitely want to prototype at least the core spreads. Okay, so that's step 2 is your prototype design. And then step 3, ready for step 3? Step 3 is to create print-ready files. And you can use Canva to make print-ready files, but I don't really recommend it. My number one place to create print-ready files is InDesign. Now, I've had plenty of print school students who use Canva and create beautiful products. For example, this is Melissa's travel journal. I had her on the show. You can go back and watch her interview. And she designed her whole thing in Canva. And it's great. I mean, she did a great job. It's a beautiful travel journal. I absolutely love it. I'll drop a link below if you want to grab it. It's so stunning. But she did hers in Canva. We've had a couple other students do theirs in Canva. And actually inside of print school, I hired a designer to come in and teach Canva and InDesign. So you could go either route, but I'm just saying between me and you, if I had to choose, I would say use InDesign. But you can use Canva. Now, creating that print-ready file is getting all the inner pages perfect, the margins, all the design, which I talk about that and like the 10 mistakes for, I have a video called the 10 mistakes for self-publishing where I talk a lot about the design issues that I would see in printed products and that you need to fix before you print. So I go into detail more there, but getting that print-ready file, exporting the inner pages of your product, exporting the cover design that you want, exporting the spine design that you want, exporting any additional bells and whistles like tabs, exporting, let's see, I've got this, one of my print school students just mailed me her prototype, but she had this beautiful box that her planner came in. So exporting, the packaging that you want, all of that. And then from there, you move on to step 4. So once you have your print-ready files, you move to step 4. Step 4 is getting your sample printed. Woohoo! So that's where you pay anywhere from $150 to $500. If you're working with a really expensive printer, it could be $800 to get your sample printed. And they will print that sample and also give you a manufacturing quote for your product, now that you have your final files, they can say, okay, now that we know exactly how much gold foil you're going to be using in your cover art, here is your final quote. And once you have that final quote, you print your sample. Once you get your sample in the mail, yay! That's exciting time. We love seeing print school students when they get their samples in the mail. We celebrate it. And that's usually when you go back and forth and ask questions with the printer, like, hey, I want to change this and I want to ask about that. You make your tweaks. And this is where you have two options. So step 5, you can either do step 5 and step 6 and step 7, or you can do them out of order. So this is kind of where you choose your own adventure in the journey. So here's adventure A. Adventure A is you take your printed sample and you go ahead and just buy however many you want. So you get a sample, it's approved. Step 5 is buy your mass order, meaning you buy 300, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, of however many products you want. Obviously, the more you buy, the cheaper it'll be. And then you sell them. That would be step 6, is launch a campaign and sell your product. Step 7 is fulfill the inventory. So once all of those products land into your home or to the warehouse, I like to outsource my shipping to a third-party logistics company, and then have them ship it out from my website. So when people order, I don't have to do anything. It's all done on the back end without me having to spend time doing it, which is awesome. So that's step 7. And that's the full plan A, is you just go ahead and order your stuff, you set up your marketing campaign and launch it, and then you fulfill it. Now there's a B as well, okay? There's this other way, which is really great. And that is step 4 is getting your sample. Step 5 is you do a pre-order campaign. And you raise the money. Like, let's say you sell 100 of these, and that allows you to buy 500. That gives you the money you need to buy 500. So you do a pre-order campaign to fund the print. And then you do step 6 is mass order. You actually order the products. And then step 7, you fulfill it and start selling the additional products you have now that are all paid for. That's exactly what Melissa did. She made her product, she got her sample, she launched a Kickstarter. She raised, I think, $3,000, which was her goal. And that allowed her to buy, I think, either like 500 or 1,000 of her units. And now they're all sitting in her house paid for, and she's selling them. She did fantastic. You can watch her video. So some students choose to do the pre-order campaign, and some choose to just go the traditional route. And I teach how to do that inside of my program. So Print School is all about how to print your thing. And then Launch School is all about how to launch it, how to do a Kickstarter, how to do a traditional launch, how to set up your website, how to set up your email, how to set up your SMS marketing, how to do all of that and launch it successfully. So that is what you get inside of my program. And I wanted to go over that and give you that bird's eye view, because you might have been confused about just the process itself. So I hope that kind of helps you. For me, and my selling process, I like to use Shopify, and that's the website that I sell on. And I think everyone that goes through my program, once they do the pre-order campaign, they then go to selling on their website, whether that's WordPress or Shopify. I love and suggest Shopify as my number one tool. But that's it. That is the steps to doing it. Of course, there's more to it than that. You have to, really hone in on your marketing and your visual content and how you position your product and how you get the word out. There's so many steps to that, and I can't fit that all in today's episode, but I wanted to share the overall 7 steps of how to go from the idea to now people have a product in their hand. So if you want to know more about the dream printing process and really understand maybe the timeline of it, how does it all fit together, and you want to learn this in a more detailed way, I have a free workshop for you. You can come hang out. It's at horacioprinting.com/workshop. You can learn the dream printing method and really understand it in more detail. So that's step 1. And then step 2, if you're ready to go ahead and dive into print school, you're ready to print your thing, you want to create it, and you want my printer my warehouse, you want access to my designers, you want me to pay for your sample with my printer, you get all of that with Print School. You get Print School and Launch School. So, and also a student community that's super helpful. You can go to horacioprinting.com/print school and learn everything there. Learn about it, apply. It is an application-based program. We would love to see your application come through. So that's everything for today. If you have a question about the overall process of printing, creating, selling, marketing, put it in the comments below. I want to create content for you. I'm so excited. Our next episode is actually going to be a really fun student interview with someone in Print School who has launched her incredible journal that's up on my shelf right now. So I'm super excited for you guys to meet another Melissa from the program next week. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a wonderful day. You are so loved.